So today I am going to be showing you the bullets and also pretty much just the bullets. And I'm also going to talk a bit about some other things that have happened today. So first off, the bullets, because that is technically what today's lesson is about. They work now. And as you can see, they fire in the direction I'm aiming. Yeah. And it works pretty well. They also bounce, as you just saw. So the bullets work, and eventually after time they will delete themselves so they're not pointlessly taking up space. So it's all good on the Western Front when it comes to bullets. That's the train. However, I will say the process of getting the velocity thing to the bullets, because that was the main problem. The main problem was we couldn't get the velocity data to go to the bullets. There was other problems, most notably bullets would damage the person who fired them if they ran fast enough into the bullets, which was easy when the bullets would slow down when you run. And there was also, sometimes it just wouldn't do the collision check. Like, it would do collision, but it wouldn't say anything. And I fixed that. It was just an if statement returning something when it shouldn't. But yeah, bullets now fully work, and I can run into them, and I won't take damage from my own bullets. And they can fling me across the map with the knockback, which is really good. Not the flinging across the map with the knockback. The part where we, walk into the bullet and we don't take any damage. That's really good. That's a good thing. And on a related note to damage, something else that happened today was the damage system, or the health control. This thing, as the name suggests, controls the health for character content. So that's the player and NPCs and other stuff like that. So we have this thing, it controls health. Whoop-de-doo. For some reason though, when I took the project to the university and on my hard drive, it stopped working. Now, I want to be very clear about this. There was no corruption. My hard drive works perfectly. It's a very good hard drive, top of the range. And it loads things really fast, which is also something else I'll get into. But for some reason, health control system stopped working. So I looked into it. For some reason, it kept crashing on line 60. Don't know why. It kept saying there was something to do with a null reference exception. Now, keep in mind, the only thing on line 60 is an event. To be more precise, it's the calling of an event. And, well, that event being called was obviously not null. If it was, then the whole thing would have failed to compile, and I wouldn't have been able to start the whole thing in the first place. If it was truly null, then it would prevent me from being able to play. It would prevent me from being in play mode. But this error happened when I was in play mode. So that only means that thing was being set to null after going into play mode, or it means that Unity was having a really bad day. And I'm going to go with the latter on this because, honestly, I don't see any issues or errors or anything. And Unity has been very funny that day as well. It kept holding for ages on the pre-compile process. It just stopped working, basically. So my guess is, for some reason, whatever reason, it just wasn't compiling the data for that event correctly. and so that event became null, but everything else kept saying, oh yeah, since all this code, if compiled, would compile correctly, I'm going to let you run the game, and then the game wouldn't run because that event slipped the grass. I think something along those lines happened. But I've deleted the temp data, which is where it would store all the compile junks and jargon and all that. So it shouldn't have happened anymore, but it did. So my guess is you needed to delete the compile data and restart because Unity Hub runs in the background even when you end it with Task Manager, and that thing is connected to Unity and all that jargon. But the point is, it now works when I'm at home, and I've also, for good measure, I've also deleted the entire event, everything related to it. Then I made a new event that does everything the last event did. As for what that event was, can you open edit? As for what that event was on half modify. This lovely little thing allows you to modify damage. So it allows you to modify damage. That way I can make it so that certain things react to certain damage differently. So I can make it so that certain NPCs react like they've been hurt a lot more to this type of weapon rather than that type of weapon. And I can also make it, in case you were absolutely underrooting, like I said, you can't receive damage from your own bullets now, which is really good. Yeah. But I have also programmed in a second thing for that. If we just click on, no, it's gone now. Pardon me. That's scripts. No, that's scripts. That's prefab. I've also programmed a second thing for that called characters to ignore. That should have been 0. Don't know why it's not. But it works regardless. And we can also set an attacker. So that means you get to know who kills you, if we wanted to know that information. Which is again really good because it means we can stop self-damage for the NPCs, because this is being done in the bullet controller. NPCs might damage other things differently than using bullets, so yeah. But I've had some issues with that, and I do know how to use events as well. I want to be very clear. There was no issue with that event. Logically, it should have worked. That event was not being used anywhere else as well. That nothing was referencing it or using it. The player has got no health interaction code set up in them, which means that event would have no functionality. Because the player is the only thing that has the health component at the moment. We haven't got any NPCs. And if there is no health code set up, or health interaction code set up, then logically nothing should have happened. That event shouldn't have even done anything when being run. It should have just stopped. Well, not stopped, but it should have just gone to the next thing, which was the causing of actual damage. It should have done that. It didn't. It just crashed. Don't know why. But I can tell you, I know how to use events. I know that I did nothing wrong because the event was only being used by the health component. It wasn't being used anywhere else, and it was only being used in terms of execution and, well, it was only being used as to execute it, to execute that event and then all the events connected to it, to call the event, as one would say if they were being professional. And it was only being used in terms of the creation of the event. It wasn't being used anywhere else or for anything else. It should have worked. There should have been nothing, no way, nowhere, anywhere in the project that could have caused that event to magically just disappear. Because Unity did keep saying, this thing doesn't exist. There should have been nothing that would have made that happen. in any possible way. And even if there was, then it would have probably affected the other events as well, like that event for death and the event for alerting certain things that, hey, your health has been changed. Like the health bar. That needs to be alerted about health changes of the player. Which, yeah, the health bar, that does use an event, but it's not damage modifiable event. It's not that. So nothing should have gone wrong, and yet, for some reason, something did. And I don't know why. I really don't. It's annoying. It really is. It's very annoying. I can say with certainty, if I was doing this not in Unity, that wouldn't have happened. Whatever that brief spell of insanity was. But yeah, that's pretty much all the work that happened today. We got bullets, they work. Also, over the next 2 days after tomorrow, I plan on adding all the little things. Most notably, sound. There is no sound yet. And I do have a bunch of sound files in BFXR, well, made with BFXR, that I'm using for the Unreal project. And I'm hoping I could use them for this project as well. Because I don't plan on my work being marked by how good the sound is. So I don't think it would be self-plagiarism. I just want sound just for my peace of mind so I know what's going on. I don't really care about how anyone else feels. But if someone does say that's self-plagiarism, I should just be able to happily delete it all and nothing will go wrong, hopefully. But yeah, I want to add sound. Kind of like the GUI. I added the GUI just for my own peace of mind. Just because it's easier than going into the console and reading a bunch of things changing. Didn't add it for anything else. Which is also why it looks so basic. But I also like it basic, so I might keep it like that actually. Although those the weapon colours, they could be changed up a bit. Not for the colours themselves, just for the borders. It's hard to kind of tell what's going on. Same with the health, but we could probably put a black border around that. But right now, I plan on adding sound. I also plan on, what's it called? I can't remember. Just too annoyed about Unity, causing me annoyance with damage code and all that. What was it? I do plan on doing something else. I can't quite remember. Oh yeah, I also plan on adding branch pieces over the next couple of days, and also making a slight modification to the player, so that first off, so that they can actually die when their health drops to 0, because they can't yet. There is no code, like I've mentioned. There is no code in the player that interacts with the health system. Not yet. In the player controller, which is where that code would have to go. Because that does all the movement and stuff. But, well, I'll also have to put a bit of code in the, what's it called? Or the thing that tells you what weapon select and all that, because there's no code in there at the moment as well. Well, it doesn't tell you what weapon selected, it does the whole selection weapon thingy for you. And you can add whatever amount of weapons you want. You can go above 3, you can go to, well, you could go to 100. You probably run out of numbers, though. And when you run out of numbers, it's going to start using letters, and when you run out of letters, God help you. But I plan on making it so the player can die. I plan on doing that. And I'm hoping, I don't know if there is a case, but I'm hoping that Unity has a really good system for reloading scenes. Because it would really be a pain at this point if it didn't. I'm hoping it's as easy as Unreal, where you could just get the level name and then you could just stay reloaded. That would be so much easier compared to whatever nonsense that probably is actually going on. But yeah, I plan on adding sound. I plan on adding branching tile types, and I plan on adding code for the player to die and all that. I'm planning on doing that over the next few days after Friday. That's pretty much it. I don't think there is anything else to talk about right now. So, goodbye. And let's hope that Unity isn't annoying after tomorrow. Because it's been annoying the last couple of days. I've been wanting to reach into the computer and strangle its neck. But yeah, that's everything. I don't think there's anything else. Well, actually, real quick, let's switch to the second weapon. The second weapon also has no bullets at the moment, so it just keeps saying green, green grass. But something to work on. So yeah, that's everything. There's nothing else. Goodbye.